I recently visited Florence and I had to go see in person something I've been reading about for years, the Buchetta del Vino, literally literal holes of wine. And no, these are not just charming historical quirks. These little wine windows were critical in preventing the spread of one of the worst diseases in human history. During the Renaissance, these wine windows were a dime a dozen, a staple of daily life, because the Florentines knew you don't drink the water, you drink the wine, because the water was filled with disease. Wine windows were started by Cosimo de' Medici in 1559, and they served a pretty straightforward purpose. Noble families with vineyards had excess wine to sell, and these windows allowed them to sell this excess wine directly from their massive palazzos without even needing to open a door. The openings were first cut directly into their front doors, which were just large enough to pass a flask of wine through, which, fun fact, the Italian word for flask is fiasco, and later into the walls themselves, which we see today. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1630, the Black Plague struck Florence, and suddenly Cosimo's wine windows became the first line of defense against the disease. People could buy wine, pass money, receive goods, all without any direct contact. The wine would actually be siphoned through a spout, and the customer would place the coins in a container, after which the seller would place the coins directly into vinegar to disinfect them before even handling it. It was contactless commerce before we even had a word for it. But that's not the only thing to come out of the Black Plague that we still use to this day. When the Black Death initially swept across Europe in the 14th century and decimated more than 30% of the entire population, the Venetians implemented this radical new public health measure. They called it 40 giorni, or 40 days, which referred to the practice of keeping ships and their passengers on a nearby island for 40 days to prevent the spread of the plague. Now we use quarantine to refer to the practice of restricting the movements of people and animals who seem healthy but may have been exposed to a harmful disease that could spread to others. You didn't hear it from me, but you can tell your partner or your family that I kind of have to go to Florence, Italy and get wine from a wine window to learn about public health and epidemiology.